All right, let's make an MLO interior. We're going to get a house. We're going to open it up. We're going to make an interior. And then we're going to make it so that it can stream to 5M. That's the idea. This is just the way I do it. There's lots of different ways you can do it. We'll see how we go as we go along. We might discover some things that don't work, and we'll troubleshoot them as we go. But I'm hoping we can just get it done in a single shot. So let me just close this from where I picked a terrible house before. All right, let's go get my notes. So first thing we want to do is we're going to set up a new DLC in our GTA files. It's the version of GTA or the directory of GTA I use just for Cobalt, and for modding it is separate to my actual installation. But I should have a video up where you can see how I use how I set up Cobalt and all the applications that I use as well. So you can look at that just for that. So I'm just going to try and do a straight shot through here. It's going to be simple. It's going to have one room, a very simple MLO, just to get the idea of the workflow that I'm going through here. So we're going to set up a new DLC because Cobalt uses your GTA files and the DLCs. So even though I'm streaming in 5M, I'm still setting up a DLC in here. I'm going to switch to edit mode. I'm going to go to mods, update, x64 DLC packs. And in here, I would like to make a new folder. It's going to be called house. Very good. And I have in here a template, so I know what I'm putting in here. So we're going to have our DLC template, the DLC name, which is house, and then inside of house, we're going to make a new RPF, which is going to be called DLC. And then inside of there, I'm going to make a new RPF called object. And I'm going to put these two XML files in there. Setup 2, you don't have to edit. Content is going to tell Cobalt or GTA what it's looking for and where it's going to find it. So for example, here, let me go back and actually go right click edit. So in here, it's saying we've got data files, we've got a new DLC, and the DLC is going to be called house, and it's going to have object.rpf in it, which is good. And it's going to have a Y type that's going to be called house. House.y type, blah, blah, blah. These files are from Stuck. Check out my links for his stuff, which is very useful. DLC is called house. We've got object RPF, and the DLC is called house. And we've got a house.y type file in there as well. Don't worry about the screaming in the background. My wife's watching a movie. So that looks good. House, save. And then inside object.rpf, we're going to put 3 files. We're going to put a manifest, a template Y type, and a template Y map. So inside the manifest, I always forget, right click, edit. We're going to say that we're going to have a Y map called what are we going to call our Y map? We are going to call it house_Milo. And then it's going to be called house. And the Y type is going to be called house. You change this to whatever you're going to use. We're going to have a bin in there. We're going to have a collision, which we're going to call house_col as well. And that should be that one. And then in the Y type, we're going to edit this later on as well. We're going to have the actual interior model. It's going to be called house_shell. It's going to have texture dictionary called house_shell. The asset's going to be called house_shell. We are going to have a collision, interior collision that we're going to call house_col. And it's going to be called house_col here as well. And these are the entities. It's going to be called house. It's going to have a bin in it, prop bin. And we're going to have a room called limbo, which every MLO has, which is just outside. Then we're going to have a room called room 1, which is cool. And then the name is also going to be called house. Excellent. And we're not going to call it interior template. We're going to call it house.ytype. And then the Y map we set in the manifest is going to be called house_milo.ymap. And we're going to edit that. And we know that it's called house. And it's going to talk about the collision as well. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And it's got models. Do. And that should be it. Save it. Oh, do I want to double check it? Yes. I just want to make sure I didn't miss an interior template somewhere. You can just go replace as well. But I kind of like to pass. I just make sure we don't have interior template in here. We don't. Good. And we don't have interior. Good. All right. Good. So that's 3 files that we're going to start with. These will get edited as we go along. We'll use CodeWalker to edit them as well. And then the other thing we're going to do is add the DLC to our DLC list, which is going to be in mods update.rpf, common data, and DLC list.xml. These are all the DLC packs in the game, and we're going to add in house. All right. DLC packs set up. So the next thing we're going to do is open up CodeWalker and we're going to go extract the models that we're going to use. Let's do that. When we do the collisions, we're going to take out 2 collisions and we're going to take out the exterior model. So we can edit those 3 things to make sure we can get into the house. And then we're also going to get rid of occlusions as well, which are basically boxes that stop you from entering areas. Now we're going to go up to Mirror Park to some dickhead's house here. So we're going to hit T, and that brings up this bar up here. And we can select. We're going to move things. So we can right click to select. And if we go to selection over here, it'll tell us the thing we're selecting. So we've got LF house _19D_. Now the D means it's probably the details. So this is probably actually exterior details, like grungy stuff. Yeah. We can all move this around because we're not going to save this stuff. We just want to find where the actual house is, which is this one. Sweet. Let's move that out of the way too. But that's the house. So that's the exterior model that we're going to go find in CodeWalker. Sorry, in CodeWalker, in OpenIV. Double click. It should take us to here and we can open it up and look at it. Does it look correct? Yep. Oh, that's the back. That's the front. Yeah, it is correct. So what we want to do is right click, export to open formats. I've already got some stuff in here that I'm going to use for texturing. So we'll talk about that afterwards. And we're going to put it in this. I've got my folder set up just to export things onto my desktop. We'll extract that. And then let's look for the collisions. Now we might be able to edit the collisions. I'll tell you what, I'll show you how to do it in CodeWalker, and then we will also do it in 3ds Max, just so we can look at both ways. So in our selection, we're going to go down and we're going to go collisions. So you can see these are the collisions. They stop you from entering things. You collide with them. So what we want to do is edit it so we can open this door, and then possibly also edit any other collisions that are going to be in the way inside the house. First way we're going to do it is to, well, let's extract these models. So you can see we've got, when I right clicked, I've selected just one polygon, but it belongs to this YBN, this collision file here. So that is going to be the collision for a house. So let's actually get those out in OpenIV, just so we have them. So you'll see there is ID 221A_0. There is this, and then there's also a high version. So this is like a gross version, and this has like the details on it. So if we go and look at the low version, this one here, we have multiple. That would be the house that we're looking at here. We can double check. Go away. Go away. Does it look right? Is that the house next door? Yep. So we just got to know that we are going to be looking at this house here. So let's export into open formats this collision as well. And then if we look at the high version, you'll see, oh, can we go faster? It's got some other houses as well, but it's more like the exterior details. So that would be, this is the house here. Oh, you can see we've got some collisions inside as well. So let's export that one too. So we have currently exported the three things we need, which is the exterior model and the low and the high versions of the collisions. But what we will also do here is I will show you how to edit the collisions in CodeWalker. So you don't have to fuck around exporting them, doing all that kind of stuff. You can just do it in here, save the file straight up, and hopefully it works a bit better than having to convert it when you don't have to. So what we'll do to edit these in CodeWalker, we'll make a new project. It will just be a temporary one. And you can see currently I've selected this poly 134. It's got box 134. We're going to add it to our project. So in adding this polygon, we've added the whole collision into our project as well. So if we edit the collision in here and then save it, then we are saving the edited version that we can use. So this polygon here, I have selected, we're just going to click delete polygon. And you can see it's gone. That's good because we didn't want that one there. But then also we have that high version. And so if I right click here and add to project, we will probably see we have that belongs to the high version of the collision. And we're going to delete the polygon from there. So just by deleting one polygon from each of these collisions, we've actually opened up the door. So you can go through and you can delete anything that you need to basically move through. So I've got the rear door, which I'm not going to do. But you could then go through and delete the collisions that are blocking the rear doors. But we're just going to do one door at the moment. But the other thing I want to do is go inside. If I scroll up, it'll slow down my movement. But if I look inside, you can see we've got these other collisions in here that will get in the way if we don't delete them. Let's right click on that. Delete, right click. Oh, don't delete vertex. It goes funky. We don't want to do that. We want to delete the whole box. Delete polygon. Delete polygon. And this one. Now, this pink shit, does that belong to this? I bet it does. But that's okay. I'm happy deleting that because the high version we've got still kind of is occluding the whole exterior. Yes, good. Okay. I just don't want to delete something and leave big holes. So you see we still got these little holes, but basically that shouldn't be an issue. Like no one can walk through that or do anything like that. The other thing is this floor too high or is this about the right height? That's about right. That should be fine. And we're going to delete this box here. And then the rest of the interior looks pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I reckon we're good. So what we can actually do, this is way quicker than doing in 3ds Max. And I recommend if you can get away with it, just do it in Cobalt. It's way simpler. So now I've got these two edited collisions that I'm going to save. So we can go save. We'll save it into final because these should technically be usable. We've got the low version. And then we're also going to save the high version. And then the other thing we're going to do in here is delete any occlusions. So occlusions stop you moving into objects. Go left click and go down to occlusion. And you can see we've got these blue boxes. So we want to basically delete these blue occlusion boxes because they will get in the way when we try and move in and enter the vehicle, the building. So I'm going to right click on this and you can see it's the box occluder and it belongs to this Y map here, this one here. So we want to copy that. If we look at this, we can also see some more details about this box. So we're going to go to OpenIV. We're going to search for this Y map. Hi, ID2 occlude Y3. Perfect. I have it in my mods folder already. So we're going to use that version. Although you could go to the regular version. And when you're going to edit this file, you can copy it to your mods folder and edit it there. So you're not editing the version that's in the game or in your game files. So I'll show the version in my mods folder. And I want to edit this. And so this is a list of all the occlusions, and it's a big list because usually these Y maps just have occlusions for a whole area. And what I'm looking for is an occlusion which has this I center X at 3751. So we can go and search for 3751. I center 3751. I center Y minus, these numbers are matching up to these numbers here. So I know that this is that box. And then I'm going to select the item and I'm going to hit delete. And then I'm going to grab the other one, this one here. I'm going to right click on it and it is in the same Y map and its I center is 3791. Let's go back to our file. It is 3791. 3791 minus 1837, 196. Perfect. We want to delete that as well. Boop, boop, boop. And I think there's just the two. We can fly around and have a look. Oh, God. Scroll down to go faster. Yeah, I'm happy. It's just those two. Cool. So what we then want to do is save this. And then we want to take this wiremap file. Let's close all this shit. And let's put it in the final folder as well, because that's our occlusion YMap, and then the two collisions that we've already edited. So that looks pretty good. We should be fine to close out of this. Oops, we can close that. I don't want to save anything because I've already saved the things I need. And what we might do is just check those collisions that we exported in OpenIV. Let's open a folder, and it's going to be house final. And let's just look at those collisions. If we fly in, that's next door. Look at that. There's no door. Perfect. And then if we look at this one, there is also no door. There's also no, like, because we deleted that big box, there's also nothing here, but that's okay. We don't care. It don't matter because the other version has collisions. We can't really look at this, but we know that this is the version where we got rid of those maps. Sweet. What I might just do is then get these files and go and put them into my DLC pack. And we'll chuck those. Whoops. We'll chuck those in there, just so Cobalt can see them when we use it as well. All right. So the next thing we want to do is edit the exterior in 3ds Max, and I'll show you how you can also edit the collisions in 3ds Max as well. But we're not going to do it because we've already fixed the collisions, and it was way easier than having to import it into here. So we have a new document, and we're going to use GIMS, and we're going to import house OpenIV exports, and it's going to be this one. And that's the folder associated with it. Reading. Can't find textures, doesn't matter. We don't actually need to see the textures. And then we will also, while we're here, bring in the collisions so I can show you what they look like, and the high version as well. Thinking hard. Now, let's do the house first. So if we look at this house, basically we're just going to delete any polygons where we're going to have doors or windows open. So in this case, we're just doing the one door. Oh, you know what? This house has an inbuilt collision as well. If we look up here and we click over here, we can see it kind of tells us what this is. So this is the model, the base. And if we look over here, it's got a composite collision also. So not only have we got those two collisions, the house itself has a collision. So if we didn't notice that and we didn't edit it, then we'd still run into this collision, even though we fixed the other two collisions. But what we're just going to do is, should we delete the whole thing? Yeah, let's delete the whole thing. Farewell, it's gone. And then all we have is the high model, which is basically just the exterior. So what we want to do is just edit and delete any polygons that are in the way that we're going to have as doors or windows. So for this, I'm literally just deleting this door. You could also go through and delete the windows if you want to open up the windows. We could delete the back door, so you have front door, back door. You can do all that. Go crazy. So what we want to do is go down. So the game mesh is what lets GIMS know that this is basically part of a model. We can just click the actual editable mesh and we'll go down to polygons. And we are just going to delete the door polygons. Oh man, there's only two. That is so beautiful. Look at that. That's it. Easy. Easy street. We're here. Obviously, you might need to do more manipulation than that, but that is this as simple as it gets, basically. So that's good. Done. Now, I'll show you where the collisions are. The collisions I imported, if you zoom out, you'll see while houses and objects are generally centered around the origin, collisions are always offset. So they're always out somewhere. Like, oh, Jesus. Like they're always, believe. There we go. We did it. Always over here somewhere. Let's just change our pivot point so we don't go wild. And this angle. Having a hard time recognizing where I am. Was that it there? Interesting. What's going on? Have I got them hidden? No. You know what I reckon? Do I reckon? Did I delete it when I deleted that other collision for the house? Is it linked? Is it like a instance? Surely not. Let's export the house as is. Just because that's the edited version. Let's go to house, 3ds Max export. And we're going to export just the house. We've delayed the collision, so that house has no collisions. Let's just delete it and re-import it. Just because I want to see what's going on. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. You know, honestly, and this is true, I have no fucking idea what's going on with that. But I'll tell you what I am happy with. The fact that we've got the other edited collisions and they look correct, and we now have a house with an open door that looks correct. But basically what you can do, if you do want to edit collisions in 3ds Max, you can just edit them from in here. So if you want to select and delete boxes, you can, delete boxes, do all that kind of stuff. Manipulate them how you will. And then you can go here to GIMS and then you can export. And from the export, you can actually pick your collisions and export them out. But we're not going to do that. Let's run with what we've got and we'll see how we go. Let's just close this. Let's not bother saving it. Because what we should have, and let's go back to our $3ds Max export. And let's drag this house into here. So we should have a house with an open door, which we do. Lovely. And we should have a collision that still exists, which it does. It has an open door. Good. We should have the other collision, which has an open door and some open other stuff, but that should be fine. So we've got the three things we need, and we have also, so we've got house, collisions, occlusions. Very good. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have actually not saved that because I'm an idiot. Because now we're going to make the interior model, for which you need the exterior model. But it's getting late, so I'm doing silly things, but I think we'll still get there. It'll be fine. So we'll just open up GIMS and we'll re-import the model. Wait for it to load. Import. What is it? LF House 19. Bring it back in. We actually only need it just to line stuff up. We're not going to re-export it from here again. I don't care about those errors. Let's just bring that bad boy up. Let's get rid of the collisions again. So the problem with the collisions, and I've had more and more, sometimes with collisions, I can import it or export it and bring it into 3ds Max and manipulate it, export it out, and it's fine. But I have had occasions when it fails. So it was really weird just then. Also, when I was doing my previous MLO, when I exported the collisions, it was just blank. It said the stuff was there, but there was nothing there. So I've had more trouble, like more misses than hits when it comes to collisions and 3ds Max. And it's just because it's finicky. Your hierarchy has to be correct. Everything has to be spot on. So I really recommend, if possible, editing the collision in CodeWalker and just saving it. It is just quicker. And I think it saves you a lot of time. So that's my preferred method. But obviously you don't have to do it that way. This is the collision. Let's delete that, go away, and we're going to go to the high. Let's just get rid of those two polygons for the door again. All right, we're at the same spot that we were. So now we want to make an interior for this. So what I'm going to do is make a super simple interior. Let's make a box. If I press F3, I'll actually turn on wireframe, which is kind of more useful for this stuff. And we're going to make a new object. We're going to make a box. And let's start. I'm not even going to make this like super nice. This is going to be like rough as guts. But we're going to make a box. Actually, let's get rid of that. Hide the house for a second. So what we actually want to do as well, at the moment, the polygons are facing outwards, but we want them to face inwards because we're making an interior. So just for the walls, we want the polygons to face inwards. So we're going to select our box. We can go up here to modify. We're going to right click. We're going to change it to an editable poly. We're going to select polygons, and we can go Control A to select all. And then we're going to click. Actually, I'll show you. Well, yeah, we're going to click flip. But what you will see, the way you can't really tell, you can tell it went darker red and it went black. The best way to see the way faces are is to go and click the little plus, X view. So this shows a whole lot of different things. One of the things it can show is face orientation. And green is the back. So at the moment we have the back of these polygons facing out. If I selected it again and flipped it back, this is what it would normally look like. You have a color or a blank on the front and the back's on the inside. But we want to flip. You want green on the outside when you are creating your shell. That's the main thing. Okay. We can turn X view off now. Yeah. And we can show the house again. Let's hit F3. So what I want to do is line this up with the door, basically. I want to fill my interior with this. Let's go by... Let's go by Vertex. So basically, I just want to line that up. If I was doing the windows, I'd want to make sure I was lining this up with the interior of the windows as well. So I'll turn on snaps as well. And I can right click to bring the options. At the moment, let's just snap to Vertex. That's fine. Let's leave that over there. So I could drag that and I could snap it. I want to snap it to the interior of this window frame. And then we want to line this up too. Bring this in to here. I don't like having my interiors like flush against walls because shit can clip through basically. So normally I let it breathe a little bit. I'll turn off my snaps and just bring it in a fraction. And we'll go to these ones over here. And you can see we've got some complicated architecture. Bring this in. Oops, turn snapping back on. Bring it into here. Turn snapping off and I'd juggle it in a little bit. Then what would I do? We'd do the front. And this one's important because we want to line up to the doorway, which is there. Sure. This door. The frame there. Or we can just pull it into snaps on. Pull it into there. Now, if I was actually going to fill this out properly, I guess I can show you how I do part of it. I'll just show you the gross details. I won't go into the fine bits. But for example, if I then wanted to, bring this out to here, I'd probably go and select by edge. I'm going to cough. Select by edge. We'll ring, which selects in a ring around. Then I go connect. We just connect once. And basically I've just split it in half, but I've kept it connected. And then I bring this across to here. So then if we just turn this off, hide that for a second, you can see we've got our polygon here. And then I would probably go by polygon. I'd select this one and I'd go extrude. And you can extrude it out like this. F3 again. Bring the house back. And then I can go back to vertexes, say. And then we could move them out here like this. Where would we go to? There. But again, let it breathe just a bit. And we could do the same over here. I'd go select, go back to edge, select this edge, ring, connect, just do it once. You can do, if you up this number, you connect, you get more splits. I'd just go once, leave them selected, bring it across, make sure snaps is on, bring it across to here, say. We do want that flush because this is where the door would be. But we're not going to use that door, so we're going to just bring it in a fraction. And then we go polygon. I'd select these two. And I would extrude them out this way. And we can just go through. And then I'd go through, you'd extrude these little edges here, you know, do the whole thing. It would just take more time. And we'll pull this out. I'm not even going to snap it. We'll just do that. And then we need to cut the door. You can also cut the windows in, for example, would be useful. Multiple ways of doing this. Let's just do it just a quick way. Depends how many polys you want to create. You can try and be as sparing as possible with polys. Usually I am. Fewer is better. But I'll select this and I'll go ring. And then I'm going to go connect. And I'm going to connect twice. And see, I've got, whoops, those two. But we are just going to deselect. Whoops, no, I didn't actually do it. Connect. Close. Actually select the edge. Ring. Connect twice. Make sure you hit the tick. Double click. It selects in a loop. Snaps on. And we're going to snap that down to here, to the interior of the door frame. So we can get it nice and lined up. Bring this one in. Whoop, don't do that. Bring this one in to here. So we've got that. Then we want to do the tops and bottoms. So you can select this one. Control click this one. And we want to connect those twice. And then we'll take the top one, say. You can always turn that off to make it easier. F3. That one down there. And the other one go there. That one down there. What's going on? Oh, I got that. See, I got two selected. Don't do that. Undo. Just that one, please. Bring it down here. Select by polygon. Delete. Oh, look at that. We should see we have a lovely black box with a hole in it. Perfect. That's what we want. Double check the facing. You can always go in plus X view. Face orientation, you can see green on the outside and we've got the surface on the inside. Perfect. That's it. So what are we going to do now? Cut doors and windows. Let's texture it. So we are going to use a reference object to grab textures out of, because that's often a handy thing to do. You can, load up your own textures and do it that way. But this is kind of simpler, particularly if you are trying to match environments or trying to take materials from something that already exists in the game. This is the easier way to do it. So this box 001, by the way, we're going to call house_shell. So I'm going to name it. And we're going to import my reference object, which has textures in it, which is this V37HD. that was sitting here. And we're gonna, where are the textures? Where are the textures? Let's just go have a look. Got the shell, just has the mesh, TXT. Okay, sure. So we want to go that one. Bringing it in, bringing it in. And you can see, if we hide our shell, there we go. I can't remember what this was, but it's got some textures. It's got a roof and it's got a floor and it's got some other bits and pieces. So we can use those, which is perfect. So what we want to do is go to our house. We're going to open up the material editor. By default, it might be set to the slate editor, which looks like this. We're not going to use that. It's more than we need. So if you left click and hold, you can open up the material editor here. So what we want to do is get a material, get an object, and we are going to pick, this is a material. So these are all default materials that kind of load in 3ds Max. And we're just going to take this one. We're going to pick a material from an object and we're going to pick it from here. So this is basically, it's a multi-sub object. So basically we've taken one material and it's, well, one object material, I guess, and we have multiple materials contained within it. So we can apply this material to our house and then we can reference which material we want to use basically in each polygon. So each of these materials has an ID number. And so we can assign each polygon an ID and that will assign a particular material to it. We don't need them all. So we're going to actually just copy some of these across to a new material. So this is, we can call this is our shell material. And we're going to change it from a physical material. We're going to go up to general. Actually, we're going to go to, general multi-sub object. Let's discard the old one. And we're just going to have 3 materials, so we can delete these other ones. And we're going to have, we're going to have floor. We're going to have some walls. We're going to have a roof. And what we're going to do is just copy materials across from here. So these are walls. That's carpet. Should we put carpet? Wood beams. Let's put a wood floor. It doesn't matter. We can right click anyway. So let's take the carpet. Right click, copy, go across to here. Right click. Don't do instances. Do a copy. Copy the carpet, and we'll go pick some walls. TLB dresser carpet. Surely there's something that says wall 1, wall 2. Ceiling. Oh, we'll do the ceiling while we're here. Ceiling. Copy. Into the roof. Paste. Paste a copy. Good. And we still need walls. Oh, yellow walls. Green walls. Shit. Let's go yellow because it's gross. Copy. Over here. And then we paste a copy. So we have 1's our floor, 2's our walls, and 3 is our roof. So we can actually get rid of this reference thing. We don't need it anymore. And if we just turn off X view, got default shading. You can change your materials. We want materials with maps. But what we want to do is select floor polygons. Oh, so we need to go up to here and we want to select polygon. And then I can alt click to deselect. So we should just have the floor. And if we scroll down over here, we can see the polygon material IDs. So currently it doesn't have one set. We're going to set it to ID 1. And we're going to select the walls. Just the walls. Going to go down. We're going to set it to ID 2. We're going to select the roof. Alt click to deselect. And we're going to select that to 3. And then we can actually select all of them. And we can click on our shell material. And we can assign the material to the selection. So we have floor, walls, roof. Looks funky. Doesn't look right. What's going on? Why UID 4? Maybe we should just redo that. That's fine. Next time we'll assign the material first. That's fine. We'll go up here. I'll click. The roof is actually 3. Please and thank you. Much better. Go to the walls. And they're actually 2. Thank you. And the bottom. It's going to be 1. Roof, walls, floor. Do we? What are we looking at? Let's just reassign it. Do not ask me why the fuck it is doing this to me. Reassign. That's fine. We can work. We can work. I'm okay with it. Don't panic. Oh, now we're doing it. Now we're doing it. Now we're doing it. Cool. Sure. When in doubt, just, keep trying. It's fine. That's 3. I was a little bit concerned it wasn't going to work that time. That would have been a disaster. And the bottom. It's going to be 1. So we've got perfect. We've got a roof that's white. We've got yellow walls, and we've got a floor that looks fucky. But we're going to fix that. The other thing we can do with our material, if we click on these eGIMS materials, we can actually select, because we're doing one room, we're going to keep the same materials for the collision and the actual texture. So we can actually set what our collision is going to be. So if we look at, so first we're looking at the floor, we can pick, it's going to be, is it going to be man-made? And it's going to be, oh, dusty carpet. Let's just make it carpet solid. We can go back up to the parent. And we can go to the walls. They're also going to be man-made. Do we have plaster? Plastic, rubber. Plaster solid. Go back up. And we'll go and select our roof. And it can be man-made. And it's going to be, do we see roof? Yeah, let's just do roof tile, that's fine. The other thing that we should do is we'll set our room ID to 1. Set our room ID to 1. and set our room ID to 1. All right, so we actually want to fix these textures. And what we're going to do is UV map. So that's how you map a mesh to a texture, basically, so it doesn't look like this. So let's just do, let's see what happens when we do them all at once. We go over here, go to our modifier list. We're going to UVW map. We're going to go box. We're going to go, I think the default for GTA materials is 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And then look at that. Looks good enough. Good enough for me. Could change it. But as you see how we don't have those funky stretch textures or anything. We can do more UV mapping later. But basically, we've got it looking fine. UVW map. We now want to set the vertex colors. So vertex colors are important. For interiors, they set whether the interior glows or how it responds to light. So we're going to go to our house shell. We're going to collapse that, and we're going to go to vertexes, select them all, Control A. There is a handy document. If we go here, so vertex colors, these are the default colors for the exterior. So the R is ambient occlusion, G is artificial light, and B is moonlight. So it's how they respond to different lights in the game, basically. If you set like G all the way up, then it basically glows. So by default, normally they're at 128. So let's set it to, did I write down what I'm going to do? For an interior, let's, you can play around with it and kind of decide what works for you. We go to our vertex color. I'm going to set it to 0, 140, 0. So it's got some illumination. It's kind of dim, basically. You can see that's our vertex colors. And then the other thing I want to do is unify all the normals, just so you don't get weird light, basically. And whether that is under here somewhere, edit normals, Control A, unify, which will fix kind of weird lighting and stuff. So it actually behaves like it should. And then we go collapse. All right, let's actually create the object now. So this is house shell. So now we want to actually make it into an object. So we're going to open up GIMS. It was already open, but I forgot. That's fine. I'll bring it where you can see it. So we want to do two things. We want to actually make an object. Model. Just click and it will create, you see it's got this eGIMS model over here. And then the other thing we do is go to a house shell and we want to add a game mesh modifier to it. So now if we click over here, we can see we've got our editable poly, and then it's also got a game mesh around it, which it needs to have to actually be exported as a model. And we're going to call this house underscore shell. House underscore high, why not? And we will put that inside. So we've got the model and then the mesh sits inside it. The other thing, next thing we want to do is actually make the interior collision. So this is just a visible object, but you'll fall straight through it because it's not actually a collision. So we have to make a collision as well. We can just clone a copy of this and drag it out. Not into house. Drag it out. Don't ask me what I did then. That's fine. Let's get rid of these so we're less confused. Delete. Okay, so this one we actually are going to use as the collision. So we actually don't need a game mesh on it. We need a collision mesh. So we can go to collisions, we'll add the mesh, and then we will also make a composite collision. We then click out here and we get a new composite collision, which we're going to call house_col. And then we'll drag this copy we made and we're going to call it house underscore, actually let's call it 0x1 because that's normally how they name collisions. And with our collision, you'll see if we select the collision mesh, we've got all the options of collisions. So we can set the flags basically, which is how the collision is going to behave. So we want to make sure it's BVH. Unknown vert offset part, we want to make 0.002, and we're going to map animal, map cover. So animals can't go through it. It can be used as cover. I'm not sure what dynamic does. Map vehicle, map weapon. They're the ones you will generally select. If we were actually making a pair of stairs, we'd also map stairs, which means you can actually walk up and down them properly like stairs as well. But that should just be those. Check on my notes. Looks good. The other thing we want to do is we are going to embed the textures into our files. You can use an external texture dictionary. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to embed them. If you use an external texture dictionary, you can actually use, I could have used these textures from the game and then just reference the dictionary that's already there. So I'm not bringing extra textures in, it's more efficient. But if you're using, say, custom textures, you can embed them. Or you can include them in an exterior dictionary. It's kind of up to you how you want to work and do that. So to do that, what we can do, if we go to here, go back, there's tools, and we can embed game material textures. In fact, I'll just select both things and make sure. Then if we actually go, you can do it manually. If we open here, we can look at our material editor, which is the GIMS material editor. If I then select, say, the house, I can see the materials that are selected for that, and I can edit them in here. So we go options. You can see bump texture embedded. So you can actually edit. If I was going to do textures manually, I can edit them in here. But we're not doing that today, but we're just making sure that all our textures are embedded. And let's check in the collision, because otherwise we won't have a collision. And they're embedded in there too. Cool. So now we're going to export house shell, house col. Export house 3ds Max export. We don't want that anymore. That can go away. And so we'll just check. I have a model with a model game mesh on it, and I have a collision with a collision mesh on it. Continue. Let's go look at those. I should actually save this just in case. And desktop. House. Let's call it house.max. Hauser. Cool. Good enough. And then we will get... Oh, did I actually export? Did I actually export it in the end? I'm getting really tired. I'm not actually paying attention here. I think I did something fucky. I put them in the wrong folder. That's fine. Let's just re-export them. They are there. They're just for some reason in this folder. Let's just get rid of those. All right. So we should have a collision and a model. Let's drag them in to a DLC. So if we open them up, so this should be the shell, which has a door. Perfect. Oh, that's kind of the floor and texture. Yeah, the textures are fucky, but that's okay. Don't care. We've got, looks like that. And then we've got our exterior, which has an open door. Perfect. We have a house collision. Oh, collisions are different. Which should be like this, which looks cool. And then the other two collisions, which we already looked at earlier, they should be fine. Looks good. So, you know, I need to get the portal coordinates. We're going to put a portal in, which is basically how we can move from the outside to the inside, move between areas. Also, if you have windows, you add portals for windows. Use portals for mirrors as well. In this case, we are just going to, we need to grab these 4 points here. So going from inside to outside, we go from bottom left and we go clockwise around. So I'm going to go and select by vertex, and we're going to take this vertex here, and we've got these coordinates here. Let's grab our notepad. Portal. See if we can get the format right. We're going to have 3.48, comma 1.45, comma 0.09. Next. It's just going to have, they always just have one digit different, which is a good thing to remember. One digit, one number different. So we have 348, 145, and it's going to be 2.872. And this one's going to be 3.48, 0.188, 2.872, and we will close off with 3.48, 0.188, 0.309, which would make sense because we're going back. 0.309. Cool. Let's just save that. So we got the portal coordinates. We're going to need those. So you would take those coordinates for any windows, any doors, anywhere that you're going to put a portal, you'll get the 4 coordinates. So going from interior to exterior, you go bottom left and go clockwise around. All right. So export, add to DLC. We need to let the game know how big this building's going to be. So we're going to calculate the min-max, BB-min, BB-max of this interior so that it's the correct size when we take it into the game. So we can do that a couple of ways. Because we're using, because I've already imported it as a YDR, we can use GTA util. You can also calculate it on the ODR using the ytype creator, but I am hot for GTA util. So I'm going to go to my software, GTA util. I'm going to grab the shell, pull it in. I'm going to open a new terminal or PowerShell. So this is how you use GTA util to generate a ytype. And so out of that, I'm going to pull out the bbmin bbmax, so /gta-util, so I'm executing gta-util, generating prop definitions input. I was previously doing it for another object for something else. And I want to do house underscore shell dot ydr. I should get a props.ytype. We're not actually going to keep this ytype file. We just want to get some details out of it. So we'll just pull it in. We want this bbmin bbmax be a center. That's basically telling us how big this object is going to be and where it's going to be. So we're just going to copy that. In fact, let's just chuck that in the notes under here. We need that. That's all we need from that. I'm going to delete that because we're actually going to use the house ytype to set all this stuff up. So we need to open up our MLO ytype, this one. And that bbmin bbmax be a center, we're going to pop in here, right in these first few lines. And then also, we want to take the bbmin bbmax, not the BS center, and we're going to use that to say how big our rooms, how big a limbo and rooms are. Use the value there and there as well. And we're going to save it. So now we're going to go back into Cobalt. So I want to make sure everything that I'm using is actually here. And in fact, let's copy it all as well to final folder here. And skip the ones that are already here. So we should have all those in here as well. Cool. Cool. Let's go back to Cobalt. Oh. We're getting close. You know what I forgot to do? I did forget to do something, but that's okay. So up here, where we've got a DLC, we want to go to house. Wait for it to load. 1 million years. And we'll go over here. Find the house. Where's my house? This one. Now I actually want details on where this is. So we can just temporarily make a new project. We will actually, let's actually save this project as house. So we'll actually use this one. Now I want to not get the details. I want the actual house, please. So we'll just move the details out of the way. And let's grab this house for a second. And you see we've got a position, copy, chuck it in the notes. I could have done this earlier, but I forgot. And a rotation, copy, chuck it in the notes. All right, cool. So now we want to open the Y map that we've made. So that Y map we made right back at the start, we're going to open that. Desktop house Final. We don't care about the occlusion. We want to run this house MLO Y map. Did you not want to do it for me? You don't want to do it? Oh, it already exists in the project. Does it? Does it though? God, where is it? You gonna do it for me? Let's just close the project. No. And let's open the project again. Yeah, that's okay. I don't want that one there anyway. Let's just remove that. Okay, good. So we've got a Y map that we've added. Cobalt is fucky. If anything goes wrong, like, don't get me wrong, Cobalt is amazing. Like, fuck doing all this by hand. But sometimes if it just goes funky, close the project, open the project. It goes really funky, close Cobalt, open Cobalt. So we have our Y map. We have our house Y map, and it's got a collision in it. So if we click go to, it's currently sitting just where the previous, where the coordinates are that we've just got in the Y map by default. But what we actually want to do is move it to the house. So we should be able to do that then. Those coordinates that we copied in our notes, we're going to move it over to there. And we're going to get the rotation. And we're going to set the rotation as well. Watch your fingers. Oh, the rotation's fucked. That's okay. You know what? I reckon the rotation is probably just going to be... what was it before? 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Was 0? Mm-hmm. 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 Should we... You know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna close it. Not save it. Not save it. Open it again. Open project. Come back to me. Again, we don't care about that. Let's just delete that. And this one, let's just copy the position. Let's not fuck around with the rotation, because that did not work. So let's just grab the position. Boop, boop, copy, paste. Now it does look like the rotation is off. So I think we do need that rotation data. Let's just save that. And let's grab the rotation data now. Don't be afraid to play around. You got to play around. See, that rotation's not right either. Why is that? We can rotate it manually, which makes me think it would be like here. I don't think it'd be like that. Interesting. I mean, that bounding box looks correct now. You can see that it kind of fits into where we put the walls. Doesn't look quite right though, does it? Might be cool. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, we're good. There we go. Perfect. So you can see that when I snap to the interior, I put it too far back. So you can see how these walls are too close. So they're like clipping through. I'm not going to fix that, but you would totally just go back into 3ds Max, change those walls, re-export it, fix it all up. But as it is, I'm happy. Also, you see how we got these issues around the door frame where there's like light leaking and gaps. You can fix that too. I'm not fixing that right now because that's not important. What's important is we get through this goddamn project. Save, smash that save button. Save it. All right, cool. So we have that. The other thing we want to do, we should actually import our ytype. Open our ytype. And this one. Oh yeah, you see I've got my bounds out. No, I reckon my BB min max might be not quite right. That would be my guess. Because you see how it's just a little bit too big? You see everything's just a little bit too big? That's a problem I'm not going to solve right now, basically. But you can go through, you can either pull the walls in, you can recalculate the BB min max, try and fix it up. I'm happy because the door lines up, which was the real major thing. It kind of looks reasonable. It's fine. But you would absolutely troubleshoot that and fix it up. But as it is, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. So we've got our ytype now as well. We've got a house wire map. It's got a shell. It's got a collision. We've got the room. Oh, let's just remove that. Basically, what you should have your ytype. You should have the collision. You should have a room, and then the shell sits inside limbo. Somehow, I have 2 shells. I've got one inside limbo, and I've got one sitting in the archetypes as well. So what we want to do is just remove. Where was I before? I want to remove that. Oh, I took the whole ytype out. No good. God damn. I don't know why it's in there. Why is it in there? Can I tell it to go away? I can. Okay, delete archetype. Boop. Better. We still got these issues with these walls. Oh, that's because I snapped right out there. Okay, it makes sense now. It's because I was just gross when I did my modeling, because I snapped it out to this wall, which is why it's now sitting outside. So if you actually modeled it correctly, you wouldn't have these issues, but I'm now satisfied that my BB max and everything else has worked fine. It's just that I did a poor modeling job, which is cool. And I got rid of that other house. So this is what it should look like. We should have our Y map, which has the house col in it. And we should have the ytype, which has the house.ytype. It should just have the collision. It should have 2 rooms, limbo, which has the house. And the room just has a bin in it. It has a bin in it because your room always has to have an object in it, or it goes badly. So by default, that's why the bin's in here. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll save this ytype now that we've got that set up looking correct. Smash save forever. The other thing we're going to do with our Y map is we want to calculate extents and calculate flags. So if you look at these numbers, when we calculate extents, they all change. That's basically saying the total extents of this Y map. So anytime you add objects, do anything, basically, anything that changes this Y map, you always want to calculate extents, calculate flags as well. All right. So that looks good. We've got an interior. Perfect. Now the next thing we want to do is add portals. So we've only got one portal. It's going to be that door. So we're going to add that. So we add that to... Do we add it to the room? No. It's under... Do somewhere. You just got to select the right, the Y type. No, is it under map? No. Map. Oh, I'm fatigued. I'm sorry. We'll get there. Yeah. There we go. So we go to the house, collision, Y type, MLO, new portal. So by default, it's given it these. Here it is, sitting here. And you can see it looks like this, which is why I have a handy dandy set of numbers that looks like this. Copy, paste, and now you can see that it's moved over here, which is where we want it. So we now have a portal, which allows us to move from the exterior to the interior. So we are going from room 1. We only have one room, it's room 1, and we're going to room 0, which is outside. So that's fine. We can set flags. We're not going to set any flags because I don't think we're going to use any of those. The other thing we want to do is add a door. So for doors that are used in portals, we don't add them exterior, we add them directly to the portal, so that way they render from the outside and the inside. So we're going to add an entity. By default, it adds an alien egg. We are going to find a door. Let's find a door. Just going to sneeze again. Ew, man. I'm not muting that. I'm sorry. Add a door. Oh, fuck me. That doesn't look good. Let's use our other website. Let's use just one. Let's find a door in here. Tell me about doors. Oh, that one might be fine. Can we just do more? Yeah, some doors work, some doors don't. Don't use cutscene doors. I don't recommend it. You know, I reckon this door works. Let's have a look. So where it says archetype, we can paste in that door. Actually, I'm quite sure this door works. Then we're going to manipulate it. We're going to rotate it around. This door is too small. Should we get a different door? Now, the thing is, you can't manipulate the size of doors. Doors, if you change the size, you will basically crash your game when you go in and try and load it. So you want to find a door that actually works, that actually fits. You can make a custom door, the correct size, which we can talk about custom objects another time. But I'll give it one more shot. If I can't find one that works, we're just chucking that in. And it's going to be like filthy, and we'll do that. Bank door, shower door, glass doors, apartment doors. What about this one? Is this taller? Copy the name. What did, there we go. All right. No, it's kind of the same. Is that the one? Yeah. Oh, is it actually sitting low and I'm just a dickhead? No, let's just chuck it in. Let's just chuck it in, mate. like this, rotate it in. Oh, don't do that. That would be bad. Where's that door sitting? Let's move it back. Whoa, whoa. I should mention I fucking hate lining stuff up in Cobalt. It drives me bonkers. So obviously you want to fix all your edges and make them all way nicer than this. Like this is gross, but this is how we're going to do this today. A beautiful fitting door. Look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's not like just horrendous mess. But you get the idea. You get the idea that we're going for here. There would be a door that fits, but this doesn't. That's fine. Perfect. Flawless. So what are we doing next for our door? A door. Don't resize doors. We're not going to change any flags. We need to look at, we've added the portal, we added the door to the portal. Now for the rooms, we have to actually set the portal count. So where it says portal count, the room 1 now has 1 portal. If you added windows, etc., you would up that depending on how many you added. We've added 1 portal from outside Limbo going inside, so it's got 1. We have room number 1 has 1 portal, and our actual portal goes from room 1, which is the interior, to the exterior 1 to 0, and that's how we set the portal coordinates. So that looks sweet. Perfect. While we're here, we could add objects. So then you can actually add objects as well. So you would go to your room, and we would add an entity. By default, it always goes to the egg. You could then add objects. So if we went to our website before, find something useful that we would need. Like this. Put it in. Chuck it right there. Perfect. Save. Smash save on everything. Save the Y type. Save. Check room flags. Yes. Room flags. So if we go to our rooms, I don't think we need any flags. We can look at Decoordinator's site. So if we're looking for our room flags, shadow casting, vehicle population. Everyone's got 96. I don't think we need to use any room flags, so that's fine. By default, we've got 96. Perfect. And set portal count, we've done. For rooms in Limbo, done. Check time cycles. We can actually change like the lighting time, how time cycles work. That, for example, Limbo has interior gas station. This has Emma Part High. We can look at more info about time cycles later, but that's there. And add objects. Yes, we need to update the manifest is the next thing. So the manifest tells us all the objects that are here. Obviously, we want to update that because we've added important objects. I want to save everything. I think I want to save everything, close it, and then do the manifest. I feel in my bones that is a better way of doing it because I think shit might not work otherwise. Because the manifest basically goes by what's in here when the project opens, and then you add stuff. So we're going to close the project. We do want to save this milo.ymap. And then we're going to open the project. Everything's still there, which is good. And then we want to go Tools, Manifest Generator. And we can have a look. We've got House Milo. And then the Y type's called House. It's got a bin. It's got a door. Item minigame. Is that the dildo? Really? All right. House collision. Generate again. What is that? What is that? What is that? I'm curious. Is this going to tell us? Is it part of the minigame? Yeah, I'll trust it. I don't know if I should, but that's fine. And then we save the manifest. And we're going to save into final. Is that where I've got everything? Whoops. Yes, good. We're going to save over this one and replace it. Now we cross our fingers. If we've done everything right, this shit's actually going to work. So then we want to stream it. Close, close. Don't care about that. We're going to save our notes. Yes. We need to go to our final. So we've got a manifest. We've got the occlusions. We've got collision number 1. We've got collision number 2. We've got a Y-type file. We've got interior collision. We have the Y map. We have the interior shell. And then we have, what the fuck's that? Is that a layover from the past that I don't actually need? Probably. Oh no, that's the exterior. I'm such a dipshit. That's the exterior that we've edited. So that should be everything. All right. So then we want to stream it. Let's stream it and have a look. Let's cross our fucking fingers because we'll see how we go. So I'm going to go to my... Not there. Let's just go here. I'm going to go to my server. TX data. Base. Make sure you put it in server config. Ensure house. Resources. Let's just copy that resource. That's fine. So we want a new folder. House. Paste the resource, which just says that. That's literally it. I don't know what this is, but that's what you use, and you just say it's a map. Gonna make a new folder called stream. Gonna grab all this. And we're gonna copy it into there. Now, everyone cross your fingers because it's been a wild ride. Let's see how we go. I hope it works because it's late and I'm tired. And we've been going for 1.5 hours. Jesus. Hopefully we're getting there. I haven't been as verbose as I wanted to be. I want to explain a lot more as I went along. But because I'm tired, I think I've failed at that. So, if shit doesn't make sense, let me know. I will gladly elaborate. If you get stuck, let me know. We'll see what we can do. And then hopefully I'll do some more videos on some other stuff that's useful. Okie dokie. Mirror Park. God. Here? Somewhere? Here? Is that where I'm going? Oh, pretty good. No. What did we forget? We forgot something. What did we forget? What did we forget? Let's have a look. So if we go to the stream folder, let's see what's seeing in the stream folder. Because that's probably the issue. Let's go in with this. Let's go in with this. Have a look. File. Open folder. Nope. Oh, is that the problem? Is it just fucking empty? Did I not copy it across? Fucking hell. Oh god. That was amazing. I hope that's what it was. Copy. What did I do? Were you guys paying attention? I'm just wrecked. Text data. Default. Did I set the server config up? Yes. If I go into resources, I go to house. What do you mean this archive is empty? Oh, I'm such a dipshit. This goes into here. Fuck me. Alright, let's try it again. Mate. We're going to double check that while this is loading. House. We got the resource. And this is in the stream. Fucking hell. What a way to finish. Da da da. Please. This way. Let's check it out. Oh my god. Now, interestingly, we have this, but the shell's not loaded. Which is interesting to me. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. You know what we're going to do? Yeah. Let's look at one that actually works. By which I mean in Code Walker. Because I really don't have to abandon this and do it again, because that's a goddamn nightmare. We're gonna open a project, and that project is going to be in here. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. Can't find any files. That's unfortunate. Let's open a different one. Oh, I done goofed. Done goofed. All right, so let's snip this. To compare. Boop. And then we'll open our project. Desktop. House. So I fucked it because it looks like this currently, but it should look like this. So where I deleted the shell, I shouldn't have deleted the shell. I should have left it there. But that's fine, because we can add I want to add an archetype. Let me add the archetype. No. Tools. My type, new archetype. And it's going to be, what does this one look like? House call. So we want house shell. G30. 30 and 5. 30 and 5. We shouldn't have a special attribute. We don't have texture dictionary. Physics dictionary. Sure. Models. Why not? Invalid. Let me just say house underscore shell. Perfect. It's a drawable asset. Yes. We don't have flags. We don't have a BB min max set. Fine. Might be fine. Save. Save that Y type. Yeah. If we go back to our Y type in our stream folder, look at it. We should now actually have house shell. As well. We can check by reopening the project. Cool. Looks better. And we need to make sure that we grab. Let's just save it as. Let's get this ytype. Just to make sure I'm saving the right ytype, we'll just chuck it on the desktop. Oh, we'll chuck it on the desktop. And then from there, let's pop it into our stream folder. Turn edit mode on, chuck it in there. I never know. I never trust it. I never trust it because it just writes over it, but it doesn't tell you. Let's do that. All right. Cross your fingers. Maybe I did it right this time. Yeah, I shouldn't have deleted it the first time. I'm going to have a note in the video not to do that. Which is super annoying. So where I deleted the house shell before, don't do that. Just skip that bit and you won't have to fucking do this bit. But as you can see, redeemable, all redeemable. Because we can just go fix it. It's fine. Even idiots can map. And I am an idiot. Hi, yes, motherfuckers. Oh, we're glitching. I think that's because my walls are too wide. That would be my guess. So the most important thing is to model your ship properly, or this kind of stuff will happen. So because my exterior's like outside, that's why this is happening, because my exteriors are outside. So as I'm kind of running, it's trying to also draw outside. And I think my door frame's not lined up properly, but you get the gist. You get the gist. That is the process. We have successfully put shit in the roughest fashion possible. But now you can do it. Let's just, don't look over there. 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 But from here, oh, perfect. There we go. That's how you do it in a terrible fashion, but we've done it. And obviously we can do it way better, but we got there. So thanks for putting up with this. Let me know if you need anything. Just reach out. Cheers.